apply. Okay, so that makes sense why you would have stopped hearing anything, but doesn't explain why you guys are only hearing it in one ear. You got it. Okay, so you got it. Thanks, PD. So you can hear it, right? But it's still only in one ear, right? Or can you hear it? Is it coming out of both ears? I mean, both ears would be great. I think it's still only coming out of one ear though, isn't it? And that's not gonna help. So that's description. Okay, that's fine. That's nothing to do with it. Driver, fine. Get rid of that one. Go into advanced. It's coming out of both. Woohoo! Problem solved. Problem solved. I'm just going to stick with this mic then. This is my SM58, what I use for music, and the other one is a Focusrite studio mic. And for some reason, I don't know why, I mean it is a condenser mic, but being a condenser mic, I don't understand why it would only come out in one ear. But I will speak with my brother, who's a professional sound engineer, and find out exactly why. But that's good now, we've got both ears. So let's get straight onto the charts then. Thank you, PD. And let's get on to what's going on. Yeah, so this was a surprise to me because I thought that we would end up having a jump from here to here and then going up to you know, the 20 simple moving average of the Bollinger Band. Get rid of this Ichimoku cloud now because that isn't relevant. The EMA, we know that we're below the 200 EMA. Bollinger Bands are relevant. VPVR, will keep that on just for posterity reasons. No real reason to keep that on, but yeah, smaller time frames we could look into. Yeah, I mean, where are we now? We're sat on GME at 3% down, and I was kind of hoping we'd end up sort of making some highs of these local highs, but you know, we could end up coming down the way. Fair enough. In which case, heading down towards this line of speculation down here. Either way, you know, if that does happen and we end up coming into this mark, like I said, that we haven't been in for so long, you know, it's been well over a year since we were last in this oversold zone, that if anything's going to be bullish, it's going to be that, you know, just coil us down to spring us up, ready to make up, you know, some next bullish moves. So yeah, so that's that. CC sounds great. Thank you very much, buddy. With great sound comes great responsibility, and gives me a new feeling of zeal and like a new lease of life, you know, to be able to speak. Because then I haven't got to worry about anything. Then, you know, you guys can hear me and it's all good. I trust that the volume is okay, that I don't need to increase volume. And I also trust that I will be able to now bring up, and it should work, the music that I wanted to play, which was this. It's probably going to be too loud. Cool. A little bit of music in the background. Cool. That's great. Okay. Coolio. So yeah, yeah. I wasn't expecting such a drastic. You know, I mean, everything's red now. Everything's just opened up. AMC. I said that it would go down the way, and that I couldn't see anything for AMC. But wow, I mean, to go down 10%. You know, in this range. I mean, wow. And not only are we, you know, we're still in that purple box here, which is good. Okay, I'm happy with that we're in there, but coming down so drastically, I would have wanted to see us go into the oversold with that sort of jump, I would have wanted to see us going to the oversold, because all this is showing is a continuation of bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence, which means AMC is going down. It's going to continue to go down. You know, if this hidden divergence continues to play out, it's not looking good for people holding AMC for the short term if they need their money. You know, they're probably expecting to have a turnaround by now and get some kind of be able to take some of their money out. So I'm sorry if any of them are wanting their money, but now's not the time to take it, especially if they're bought in high. You know, so not too clever. But GME can still be saved at this point. But it is making fast moves. It opened up at 2% in the red, and now we're down at 3%, 4.5%. So that's not looking too good. But we are at the this point of control in this area here. And if we sort of let's bring up the actual from the point where the bulls took control, and all the Reddit group all started with the hedge funds and everything. Right. So the point of control is way down here. The local point of control is here, which is where this line is of speculation on the fibs. So everything's all converging here. We could end up coming down to the 145, $145. If it does, it's going to be a great time to buy. You know, there's silver lining to every cloud has a silver lining. If we do end up coming down there, and time to buy some more. So that's it really. AMC, well, I said it'd go down, but I wasn't expecting it to go down that much. That's really bad. Short term, that is bad. Okay, cool. Well, not cool, but it is what it is. Since opening up, everything else has gone red. Bitcoin dominance, that's staying positive. So Bitcoin seems to be doing okay from a dominance point of view. But all the altcoins are going to start bleeding whenever that Bitcoin dominance starts going green. And the higher up in the green, the more these start to bleed. So everybody in altcoins right now, it's a scary time for everybody, because what's going to happen? What is going to happen? Nothing seems to be holding at the moment. The world is going into turmoil. What's happening on the news? World news. Has anything happened that's affected the market so much so? Oh, great. We've run out of lateral flow tests. The thing is, when you watch the mainstream media, you don't know. It's just half of it's all negative. It's all bad. It's all really bad news. No wonder everyone's all panicking. Look at this. This is horrendous. Yeah, but nothing particularly has sort of happened that's obviously this is horrendous, but nothing. There's been no major anything bad that's turned around and said, obviously this is bad for the people, but for the economy, the world economy, nothing has happened. It's not like it's just really bad. Sorry guys, I've got nothing to say. At this point here, I can turn around and sort of say, well, we've done our thing. We've done our thing. I'll read my book and do the Adolf Hitler conspiracy theory thing. It's only a page long, so we'll be done in a second. But we'll end on that note there. So what have I got on here? How many people are viewing right now? Let me have a look. So that's that one, right? So what do we got? 4 viewers. Hello, 4 viewers. Nice of you to sign back in again. It sounds like we've got some good sound now. So here we go. So Adolf Hitler. So this is the conspiracy theories book, and the first one that was on there. Hey, how are you doing, Avi? Thanks very much, buddy. We've just done the charts, really, mate. Looked at AMC, said that AMC would go down as it opened up the day, and it did go down. But I was expecting GME to do a little bit of a bounce up the way, which is still on the cards for today. But it's got to really hold its own and start pushing up. We've got some bullish news on GME with regards to the next month. So this might be just like a little bit of a, before you jump, you kind of dip down, don't you? Before we end up going up. Phil says, "Hey, Tony has friends." Yes, I have friends, apparently. Yep, been here for the past 5 minutes or so. Very kind of you to nip in and say hi. Yes, I do have friends. I do have friends, apparently. We've had a real mess up today. I mean, the whole thing's been horrendous. I was expecting to be have this interview with Rocky, so for the past 2 nights, I've had my mind centered on that, on what information I can bring to you guys to really help people achieve financial independence from the claws of the world that we're living in, and what best advice I can give to people that have entrepreneur spirits, or people that want to get onto that area of life, and the steps that I took at a young age to get onto the area of owning my own business and being able to become financially independent. But unfortunately, the Rocky isn't very well. So therefore, didn't happen. Anyway, Adolf Hitler. So the conspiracy theories, and 9/11 was obviously 9, so that comes before the letter A in the alphabet, and the contents are in alphabetical order. So the next one on the list is Adolf Hitler today, and then the next one is a conspiracy theory on AIDS, why AIDS came out, and all the rest of it, which I haven't looked into yet. But the Adolf Hitler one is only a page long, and it's a little bit funny and wacky and out there, which is what he deserves, really. His legacy to be the fact that he was just, an awful guy. Right, Adolf Hitler. Although the accepted account is that Adolf Hitler killed himself along with his wife Eva Braun at the end of World War II, recent tests on what was supposed to be his skull showed that it was that of a woman instead. So could it mean that he survived after all? There are several different theories about where Hitler could have gone. Some say that he escaped to Argentina, along with the Nazi officers responsible for the Holocaust, taking the Nazi supplies of stolen gold with him. The theory is that he managed to get onto a U-boat, which then sailed across the Atlantic and secretly deposited the director before surrendering himself to the Argentinian authorities. Others agree that the U-boat to escape, Others agree that he used a U-boat to escape, but think that his location of choice was a little colder. As early as 1939, a secret German expedition was made to part of the Antarctica, with the intention of building a base there. Some think that the U-boat had dropped Hitler off at the completed base in 1945, or possibly even before the end of the war. But body doubles taking his place in Germany to avoid suspicion, before continuing to Argentina to surrender. Later, British SAS soldiers were linked with operations in the area, and in the following years, until the early 1950s, United States forces were reported to have violently attacked Antarctica in secret, using atomic weapons on several occasions. Some believe that the British and US forces were trying to kill Hitler and destroy his secret base, although no one knows if they were successful. And this is the funny part. A third theory suggests that Hitler may have escaped to the moon. The Nazis had developed complex and sophisticated weapons for several years before the end of the war, including rockets. Some think that one of these rockets was used to take the Führer into space to live in a secret colony on the moon. Some even think that there are up to 40,000 people living in the colony, and which has been kept secret from the rest of the world to provide a secure living space for the world's elite. The theory is that the atmosphere on the moon is breathable, and that Hitler would have no problem living out his life in comfort and safety there. We may never know what really happened to Hitler in 1945, but one thing is certain: even if he did survive the war, it is likely that he would have died by now. He would have celebrated his 125th birthday back in 2014. Alright, so some of these nutjobs believe that there's a colony of 40,000 people on the moon. What do you believe? Yeah? Maybe Elon Musk just wants to be one of the elites, so he's got, Skynet up there, and he's like, I want to be one of the elite, Maybe this is what Richard Branson's doing, with Virgin, trying to get out there. He's trying to get to the moon. He wants to be part of the elite. What do you think, guys? It's been crazy, isn't it? What these people believe. It's very funny. Financial independence is a sprint or... financial independence is a sprint or marathon. That's a question. Yeah, is it a sprint or a marathon? I think it's subjective. I think you can be financially independent from society, like from the point where you can retire at a young age just by having some good investments that are paying you on a regular basis. If you're happy and content living on a couple of $1,000 a month, as an income, then to get that as a passive income is fairly simple and easy to do. It isn't a marathon. It isn't something that's going to take a long time to do. If you know where to look and you know what to do to get that. But if you're talking about having millions at minimum, millions of assets, pounds or dollars worth of assets, and being able to comfortably live off of the revenue that those assets bring in, then that's going to be more like a marathon where it's going to take time to get to those things. Unless you were born with a silver spoon and you've got all the money left to you in the world, that if it's something that you've got to build yourself, then it's going to take time, and that becomes more of a marathon. So I think the question's subjective as to how you see individually as what your independence from your decoupling, if you will, from social or economic tethering is. If you feel that a couple of $1,000 is enough for you, then it's a sprint. You can get that quick. But if you want to get somewhere where you've got loads and loads of zeros after, then it's certainly a marathon. It takes time. So Phil says easy. It's hard work. And AV says at Phil, it's true. Yeah. So yeah, it's all subjective over where you see and where you want. Like Warren Buffett or Elon Musk would look at someone who's got a couple of £1,000 a month coming in for nothing, still not have managed to achieve financial decoupling of financial security and safety. But somebody who's just left school with nothing would look at someone who's getting a couple of grand a month in for just staying in bed and sleeping all day as living the dream. Like, wow, they're getting £2,000, $2,000 a month coming in, and they're doing absolutely nothing. They can just play on the computer all day and do nothing, and they've got all this money coming in. So like I'm saying, it's subjective, very much so. Okay, good perspective, Tony, on sprint versus marathon. Well, it was a good question. It was a good question. Yeah. So yeah, subjective. So yeah, where else can we go from this? While we're talking about this kind of stuff and having this little chat here, now that we've got sound working, if there's anything you guys want me to look at, I think D Harker, if you're still in on it, is D Harper still on here? Because he wanted me to look at something earlier on that was really interesting. He wanted me to look at this ENR, and on ENR, just look how fast it's going down. So I don't know why Siemens Energy have come down so fast. They've taken a massive hit over the last couple of working days. Excuse me, just a sec. Something's just happened. Yeah, it's taken a massive hit. So I don't know why. Hey, only calculate your success from the first year of success. They don't calculate the previous 10 years you've been grinding. It's true. It's true. It's true. And it takes hard work. It does take hard work. And, which is why I say at the beginning, unless you were being handed it on a silver spoon, some people are born into families that have got millions. And some people have to work their way up, starting in warehouses or bookshops or libraries, or just working where they can and working their way up the ladder. And I started off window cleaning, and I had to, there was no. I was, in fact, it was before window cleaning. It was washing cars when I was a kid, like kid. I was like 9 in my street. I used to wash a car for £2 it was per car. £4 in and out. And but then when I got into window cleaning, I was carrying 3-tier wooden ladders about 6 miles to a pub, which I still do to this day. I've still got that pub. And I carried that on my shoulder. That was a heavy ladder, and I was 16, 17. No wonder I got back problems today. So we all had to start somewhere. But then what do you do with your money when your mates are saying, come out clubbing with me, and you're turning around and thinking, no, I need a driving licence. I'm not going to go out clubbing, I need to spend money on my driving lessons. So what do? You go out clubbing and spend your money out on the drink and the booze, or do you turn around and spend it on your driving lessons? So then you get your driving lessons and you don't have to carry the wooden ladder anymore. So then you get your car. But then, you just pass your test, so your insurance is expensive. And then those mates of yours that were turning around and telling you to come out, they're the ones that are wanting you to give them a lift to go and get rat-arsed, so they haven't got to pay for a taxi home. And it turns out now, to this day, the same ones that, were back there, they're the ones that come and knock on my door saying, Tony, can I borrow some money? It's like, when are you going to turn your life around? When are you going to, it's been all this time. You've seen me turn around and make these decisions, and none of you have followed the decisions. You've gone about your own way, and you've got nothing to show for your life. You haven't even been on holidays anywhere. So, yeah. Okay, good perspective for that. So, people only say, okay, therefore it can look easy, but seldom is. That's right. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but likewise, you also don't know what goes on in people's minds when they're falling asleep. You don't know the things that they're thinking about. So I was thinking of a lot of things last night before I was going to sleep about the things that I would be mentioning on today's show with Rocky. So I've ended up drafting them all down, ready to talk, and I'll save them. I'll save them for when me and Rocky do end up having our chat together, and I'll bring the good gems out that I've thought for you guys out then, rather than bringing them all out now, because they're all there, all in my mind now, and I want to bring them all out and talk about them now. But I'll save them for when I do my thing with Rocky, because I'm really looking forward to doing that. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, does anybody know what's happened with this stock that D Harker wanted me to look at? Siemens Energy. I keep hearing noises. Siemens Energy. Naked. I knew somebody wanted me to look at them earlier. Yeah, they are on here. There you go. Look. Open up love. Hey Tony, I saw a clip a while ago on the difference between rich and wealthy by Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal. I think it's great to add just Shaq on the difference between rich and wealthy. 58 secs. Yeah, stick a link in the chat, buddy. Please, Phil. Stick a link in the chat and we'll yeah. It's not something that I can bring up because if I'll end up getting a copyright strike, and I'm fed up with YouTube keep giving me jip on it. Yeah, naked. So what we're looking at naked. So we're looking at high, low. So we've got there. We come down the way, but we come extremely into the oversold area as the prices have gone slightly. They've ever so slightly gone down, but as of yesterday, it was looking like bullish divergence, like considerably bullish. But for some reason, we've got a red, which makes me think that we might potentially have a turnaround on naked today. Just on today's price, we might end up having a bit of a like turnaround. What is the volume's tapering off, but we are coming to this oversold zone. And the MACD. Just give me a sec. Sorry guys, digital inputs. Yeah, so we've broken the 200. So we've broken the 200 daily. We've broken the 200 daily. So essentially, we're official now. It's kind of moving into a bear trend. But if we end up, if we can pull ourselves up here, and it potentially can happen, because when we end up going into the oversold zone and we end up breaking outside of the Bollinger Band, so if we end up getting a brig outside of the Bollinger Band, we could just blast off really quickly, which would just be a fake out and scare people out. Yeah, it could really scare people out, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like there, we ended up going out of it, then down, and then we only came back in. Like, this is the prime example. We came out and we're only out of it for just a matter of a few hours, and then straight through back out. That this is a red, on the weekly. This wouldn't appear. This is like a new candle. So yeah, if we end up coming down outside of the Bollinger Band now, like having a real quick dump, then yeah, and we're in the oversold zone, then we could end up having the histogram turn around and a shoot upwards to the upside. I can see naked potentially having a real good turnaround at this point. But let's have a look at the fibs and see what the fibs are telling us. Let's bring up the fibs and see what the fibs are telling us. Let's just do that for now, and then I'll fine tune it in a sec. What the hell is this VPVR doing to me? Settings are all how I want them. How bizarre. Um, Trying to find something of value, and I think there's probably valuable. We've got here where we broke down. We've got support, resistance just here, and we've got resistance just here. And I'm gonna cancel out all this noise here because I don't think that's relevant. And then with regards to the bottoms, there was a lot of area here where this point of control on the VPVR, all this big candle here, I think is probably a really relevant place to take the fibs from. So I'm going to take them from about there roughly. So that should give us some kind of idea as to what's happening. Yeah, okay, so we're breaking down the 236. We could end up coming down this way, but I think I don't I don't think that's possible, not with the traction that it's gaining now. I think this is going to be a V. I think this is going to be a V, and we're going to end up coming up here. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I think it's just too far down to go. I think it's too far down to go, and we're going to get saved by this VPVR line here at the $46.25 cents, I should say, mark. Looking at that, I just think this is just too far down to go. It's just could be wrong. We have officially now gone into it. What's the 50 saying? What's the 50 saying? Let's just open up a let's get rid of the Bollinger Band for a sec and open up another EMA. And bring up the 50 just to see. Oh, clear off. Yeah. Okay, so 50 is coming down here, and this is your typical death cross, golden cross sort of information. There's just so much money that can be made on this if this doesn't go to zero. It's just so much. Have some of you guys put your money into this? Have you guys just stuck a little bit in here just to see what happens? May 20. Very little. No, but it's worth. It's definitely worth having a little bit in there. I mean, you don't need a lot. You only need a few $100 to make thousands. Yeah. So it is one of those ones that you just, could potentially go to zero. But their website looks all nice. Nice from a financial point of view, but also nice from a visual point of view. Yeah. Right, what are you guys saying? So I work field the foot looks naked. Hey Tony, I saw a clip. Yeah, done that one. Phil, don't forget to put in the chat, please, a link for me for the Shaquille O'Neal clip that you wanted me to have a look at between the rich and the wealthy. AV says very little, just getting my feet wet in the market. Yeah, well, that's definitely one that's it's either going to go to nothing or it's going to make you loads. It's like all or nothing, that one. All or nothing. Rolls Royce, I think, is going to have a turnaround. I did Rolls Royce earlier. I looked at Rolls Royce. Um, yeah, I did Rolls Royce earlier, thinking it's going to have a turnaround at some point, and as we come out of lockdown, let's just hope we do come out of lockdown, guys. I want to come over to the States. There's loads of places that I want to go to, and but it's only until we come out of lockdown that Rolls Royce are going to end up taking off. Taking off because of the planes. They're going to need servicing, looking after, new contracts, new contracts to look after the planes and everything, all breeding new parts, and Rolls Royce having to make new turbine blades and all the rest of that sort of stuff to keep the Boeings going. Grace, I did not know you all were on lockdown. Well, today is the first day of the UK coming out of like us going into where we don't have to wear masks anymore. It's voluntary. It's up to us now. So we, locally, internally, are out of lockdown, but we aren't allowed to go to certain countries on different colour lists and things like that. So like my friend is in Spain, but I can't go over there yet. So Spain, can't go and see my mate. What's the difference between RR and ROLY? I believe that one is Rolls Royce Holdings, as in the UK, London Stock Exchange, LSE, London Stock Exchange, whereas the one that you were thinking of, which is this one here, RYCE, would be RYCE. If I go in there, RYCE won't be on the London Stock Exchange. RYC RY idiot RYCEY. There we go. Is there you go. It's on the OTC. It's not if it's the call exchanges on there. Yeah. There you go. So I think that's all it is. I think it's just the fact that RR is Rolls Royce on the London Stock Exchange. So it's the UK market. Could be wrong. But when I trade over here on the trading platforms that I trade on, it's Rolls Royce. It's Rolls Royce here. It's RR in the UK that that I look at. Rolls Royce Holdings PLC, ORD SHS 20p. I think that's it. Could be wrong. Anyway, AV8T, thank you. Here it is. What? What is it, Phil? Here it is. I'm guessing this is the clip. The clip. Yeah. There was a feature within TradingView that spoke about fundamentals. So these are just people's ideas. You could get on TradingView yourself and stick your own idea up here. But there was an area within, there used to be anyway, years ago, where you could turn around and if you wanted to know about a particular subject, you could go within TradingView and look at fundamentals on things. But it looks like they've stopped doing it now, and I don't know why. Alright, guys. I don't really have anything else to say. You know, it was a pre-market chat that I wanted to do. Speak about, you know, where I felt things were going. And then when the market opens, see if we were right or if we were wrong. And then turn around and you know, find out where we went wrong, if we were wrong, or if we were right where we were right. And yeah, and I was right with AMC that I felt that we would end up coming into this area, but you know, end up just coming down the way further, and we did. We ended up coming right down the way. It looks like we're making a sort of doji candle now, which is good, because it means, I mean, it was at 10% earlier. That's what I was saying about those fake outs. But GME, I felt that we would end up making a higher moves up. I didn't expect us to open the day today down here. So my targets for today might still be achieved, but unlikely now. Might be midweek before those targets are realised. But yeah, those targets were up at around about $185, which I thought we'd end up achieving today, and it looks like that's not going to happen now. But come Wednesday, but that's possible that we might end up getting that to then. All right, guys. But for those of you that have come on, thank you. Thanks for those of you that have commented. I'll probably end up deleting the other stream because it was just a mess, wasn't it? It's just embarrassing, and you don't want anybody, when you're trying to build up a brand and all the rest of it, you don't want people seeing the fact that you've got no microphones working, or it's only coming out of one side or whatever. So I'll probably delete that one and leave this one on. But I'll say goodbye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the chats on the Discord. It's going to be a lovely week this week, weather-wise. So yeah, be good. I'll speak to you all probably tomorrow. All right, guys.